Hello, class. This is Mr. DeVoe-Peterson, and I want to talk to you a little bit about week 1. So let's jump into my screen sharing, and I'm going to show you my Fresno City College Canvas site. So this is week 1. Remember, we already reviewed the syllabus. We talked about the need to register for my TLAB, or half of your course content exists. And if I were to look at the syllabus here, and just a reminder at the top, we use Canvas for a lot of the content, the quizzes, the narrated PowerPoints, and links to the ebook. But a lot of the simulation software we use for Word, Excel, Access, and PowerPoint live in my TLab. And in the syllabus, there's a reminder here you need to get signed up for my TLab in the first week by Wednesday to stay in the class, or I'll need to make room for those on the wait list. So that's the reason we do that. So make sure you're aware of that. It's not a single sign-on. You have a separate sign-on for Canvas at Fresno State College and a separate sign-on for my IT Lab. Although you could use the same password for both accounts. It's not something I recommend, but it's college stuff, so you probably could get away with doing that. So let's jump down here to week 1. And what do we got? We have some simulation right off the bat. In parentheses, notice it's in my TLab, and I'm already logged into my TLab. So yeah, let me jump there. Let's go there. Let's go to my TLab, and you'll get here. You'll have to sign in, and I think I already did it right here. So I'm in the assignments. This is the Windows 10 training. Now, because this is Zoom, I had to open this up and paste it in a new window, and I did here. So here it is. And what's the instruction? There's 26 tasks here. You get 10 attempts per task. So this is what the simulations are like. Now, I have kind of a wider screen, and if your screen is not quite as wide, these directions that are on the right might show up on the bottom, across the bottom. It's okay. My TLab will assess your screen aspect ratio and move it where it needs to be. So you haven't, I'm not sure why these red instructions are here. You can ignore that. It's a dev notes, which don't apply. And it only shows up on this first one, which is kind of strange. So instructions are in black. Things that you enter are in blue, right? So sign into Windows, use the MyTLab account for MyTLab user. And here is one of the worst passwords in the world, MyTLab1234. Don't do that. If for your own personal passwords, that is. But for today, for the simulation, you need to do that. So if you don't know how to do it, and this is the key for all of the simulations, down here, you have a button for learning aids. And if I click it, it does a pop-up and Zoom doesn't show you, but it's going to bring you this window and a recording of Pearson doing this assignment for you. It's a learning aid to walk you through it. So that's kind of key. Also down here, there's kind of a makeshift keyboard. If you have a Mac user, it gives you a Windows keyboard. This is your bandwidth status. I have good internet signals, so that's what some of these things are. But at any rate, learning aids help you do these assignments if you don't know what to do. Now, I do know how to type that, so I'm going to do it. Let's see. IT Lab 1234, worst password in the world. Hit the enter key or hit the arrow, and it's going to say, you did it. Question complete. No, don't save that. And a pop-up window showed up, but you probably couldn't see on the recording. Now I'm in task 2, right? And display the homepage settings window. If I don't know how to do this, I'm just going to click on the learning aid, see how to do it. And then when that's done, complete the task. When you're done with all these tasks, then you would click submit, right? If you can't finish in the session you allocated to work on this, and you'll click save and you'll come back to it for later. And then the other thing is, where is it? Oh, view all. This might be a pop-up window. Yeah, it is. You can't see it. It's going to show a pop-up window that shows me all the individual 26 tasks so I can jump to a particular task. Anyway, that's what that is. So save if you're not done so you don't lose your progress. When you are done with all 26 tasks and you submit it, bang, you're done. You get a grade for it. And if you don't like the grade, you can take you can take the trainings as many times as you want. When you're done with the training, then you'll do the assessment. The assessment, surprisingly, has many of the same, actually the same task, but for the one I just did, instead of my TLab 1234, it's something else 1234. Very similar. And the assessment does not have learning aids, right? So, oh gosh, so how do I get help? If you're in the assessment and you can't remember what you learned in the training, which is the same 26 tasks, just different parameters, then you would save the assessment and go back into the training so you can get to the learning aids. Does that make sense? That's kind of how you work through this. Many of the stuff, especially with Word, you won't have to do the learning aids because many of you are familiar with Word, but for Windows 10, you might have to do it. And once you get into Excel, you'll definitely have to do it. So just remember, use the learning aids. And if you're done with training and in the assessment, you get stuck, save and get out of the assessment and go back to this training to learn how to do it. Anyway, so that's Windows 10 training, and this is the assessment I was talking about, which does not have learning aids. That's due for week 1, and also the quiz. Now, where does the quiz live? It lives in Canvas. So let's go back to Canvas. Let's go back. Let's go back here. I think it's the prior screen. Here we go. Week 1. Okay, so we did that. That's all done. Now, this is the book, chapter 1, and this is the narrated PowerPoint. It's kind of cool. It reads the PowerPoint to you, so it's kind of handy. These are the chapter study guide questions, and that they are questions. And if I go to it, oh, good, it's not a pop-up window, so you'll be able to see it. Zoom is kind of funny. It does not present pop-up windows. These are all the questions. Hey, look at some of these words: crisis mapping, crowdsourcing, social networking. These are answers to this question. One of these is the right answer. So how do I figure that out? Well, let's go back. Let's go back to, I'm just clicking on the back arrow to the chapter where you read the book, right? Because that's how you get started. You might want to go to the PowerPoint first to kind of get a overview of the chapter and then jump into the book. Now I'm logged in, I'm logged into my T-Lab. So I'm I'm not asked to, oh, you know what? I think I need to drink water. Hold on. I've been recording all morning. This is the interface. All right, this is the table of contents. And this is, how do I know what chapter I'm in? Well, let's just close this out. Let's close that out. Chapter 1, all right? And let's go here. Let's start in here, all right? These are things you're going to learn in chapter 1, a little bit about artificial intelligence, well, a lot about artificial intelligence, learning about extended reality, ethical computing, key terms. And you don't have to do the tests here. Here's a chapter review. Just make sure well, we'll go into that real quick. So these are the big concepts. Sometimes I like to check out the chapter review first to see, what am I going to learn? Oh, cognitive surplus, collaborative tools, crowdfunding. Let's see. If you're computer literate, you understand the capabilities and limitations of computers. I think that's an answer to a test question. All right, so those are key things. So if I go back up to the very beginning up here, let's start the importance of computer literacy. All right, here they are. So if you look at this, computer literacy, what does it mean? You can click on these links and it tells you what it means, right? And that's probably a quiz question. Becoming familiar with enough with computers that a user knows how to use them and understands their capabilities and limitations. Cool. What else? Spam. You know what? Let's jump back up here. I think there's some terms that are, oh, crowdfunding. And that was one of the possible test question answers. Asking for small donations from a large number of people using the internet, right? Like crowdfunding. There's sites you can go to get funding for certain things. Okay, I'll close. Oh, tell me more. We won't do that. Uh, Crowdsourcing. All right, obtaining information or input for a project by obtaining opinions from many different people. Crowdsourcing. Using the internet to get answers. Collaborative consumption. So as you go through this ebook, you'll see many of these highlighted terms, and they're more than likely an answer to a quiz question. So I wanted you to see that. Go through the ebook and look through this information. Computer literate again, talking about that. That was in the summary. And every chapter has this. So let's jump down here. This is the quiz. You don't take it. Just look at it, see if you understand it. I guess to make sure you know where you are in this. Oh, artificial intelligence, DALL-E. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've used this, if then that, a little bit. It's kind of handy. More on artificial intelligence. You might find it interesting. It's becoming all the rage. Let's jump into ethics. A little bit of your ethics, working with artificial intelligence, ethical computing, uh, definition of ethics here, another hot link. And let's look for some links. Unethical behavior, amoral behavior. What else? Checking your understanding, chapter review. All right, so go through this. This is chapter one, and this gives you just kind of a foundation overview of using computers. And let me back out of this. And that was right here, reading the ebook, all right, which is part of my IT lab. You get it free, it's included. All right, so we looked at the Office 10 training. I didn't go into the assessment, but it's the same thing, just different questions to know what was the term? Learning aids. They'll walk you through it. I went into the ebook. This is narrated PowerPoint. You click on it, it'll read the PowerPoint to you. And this is the quiz. So I don't think it's open yet, so I'd have to put a password. But if you go to the study guide, I think that'll open up. You can see it. You'll see the quiz questions. These are all the questions, right? Uh, the tool used to gather information from sources such as emails, text messages, and tweaks to make informed and instantly publicly available. Well, it's one of those. Which is it? I would probably look up these terms and see which better matches it. A tool enable blank tools enable people to connect and exchange ideas. Well, which one do you think it is? Not computer forensics or debugging, probably social media. So these are just some examples of questions. So the answers aren't there, but these are multiple choice. And then if I keep going through this, these are true, false, right? Crisis mapping tools collect and analyze data from social media and create instantly available information to respond to a crisis. Yeah, that's kind of what it does. So that would be true. If there, what else? Uh, let's see. Electronic junk mail is considered a computer virus. Well, it's malware. I mean, I don't know that it's technically a virus. So look at that and see if it makes sense. These are the quiz questions you're gonna get. How many are there? There's 57. I'm only going to ask you 25. 20 multiple choice and 5 true false. So even if you only get half of these, go through these study guides. It'll kind of get you ready for the quiz. That's why this is here on the Canvas site, right? You have the PowerPoint, you have the study guides, you have the quiz. What was my IT lab for? Reading the ebook. This brings you to my IT lab, to Pearson Plus. If you're logged into my IT lab, that's why I put Pearson Plus here. If you're not logged in, it goes right to it. And this is all of the assessments and training. So we start with Windows 10. Next week we get into Word, and then we get into Excel, and then it's a little busy. If you look, well, I'll do a different video for week 2 and 3. I don't want you to worry about that so much. But focus on week 1, get in registered for my IT lab, and I think that'll take care of everything you need. Again, how do you reach me if you have questions? Where would it be? Did I lose that page? My email right there. There it is. That's how to get a hold of me. All right. I think that's it. Let me stop sharing my screen, which is where is here. You can see me in my office in case you come by campus. If you have questions, let me hear from you. All right. Good luck. Bye for now.